Hello everyone and welcome to Stimulus Academy. In this video, we are going to talk about three endocrine glands. The first is pancreas, and we are going to take up the sexual glands, that is testes and ovary. Okay, so we'll be covering the testes and ovary part in chapter 3 of your 12th syllabus, that is human reproductive system. Okay, so here we'll be covering the endocrine part of these glands. So with that, now let's start with the video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. So now let's start with the topic. So the first topic that we'll be taking up is pancreas. Okay, now pancreas are known as composite gland. So why are they called composite gland? Because this gland is both exocrine and endocrine. Okay, so you might remember the definition of exocrine and endocrine gland. Exocrine glands were those glands that pour their secretion with the help of a duct. Okay, so if you remember the chapter digestion and absorption, you know that pancreas secretes some enzymes, and these are poured into the small intestine with the help of glands. Okay, so because of that reason it is an exocrine gland, and it is an endocrine gland because it secretes two important hormones, insulin and glucagon. Okay, so because of this reason it is known as a composite gland. Okay, so now we'll be talking about the endocrine pancreas. Okay, so the endocrine pancreas, the cells of this endocrine part are known as islets of Langerhans. Okay, and these there are about 1 to 2 million islets of Langerhans in the endocrine part of pancreas. Okay, and these 1 to 2 million islet of Langerhans cells make 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissue. So we can say that the major part of the pancreatic tissue is the exocrine part, and only 1 to 2% of it is the endocrine part. And this 1 to 2% part is 1 to 2 million islet of Langerhans cells. Okay, so this was about the cells, like the composition of pancreas. Okay, so now there are two types of cells, two type of endocrine cells. The first is alpha cells and the second is beta cells. Okay, so alpha cells produce the glucagon hormone and beta cells produce the insulin hormone. Please remember this information because it can be asked in the question, that alpha cells produce glucagon and beta cells produce insulin. Okay, so now first we'll talk about glucagon hormone. Okay, so glucagon hormone is peptide hormone by nature. Okay, so it is a peptide hormone and it helps in the maintenance of the normal blood glucose levels. Okay, so please remember this thing, that glucagon and insulin both together, they maintain the blood glucose level. Okay, so glucagon, as I have told you, that glucagon helps in the maintenance of the normal blood glucose level. Okay, so how does it help? Now I have told you that glucagon and insulin both contribute to the stabilization of the blood glucose. Okay, so one must be increasing the blood glucose level and the other must be decreasing. Okay, please keep it in mind that blood glucose level means the amount of glucose in the blood. Okay, so what these hormones will be doing is that they will either be increasing the concentration of glucose in the blood or decreasing the concentration. So among these two hormones, glucagon increases the concentration of glucose in the blood. Okay, now remember another important concept, that the glucose in the blood will be taken up by the cells for respiration. Okay, so the way in which glucose is poured into the blood is through absorption. So through the absorption of glucose from the food, glucose will be taken up by the blood, and from the blood the glucose will be taken up by the cells, so as to facilitate respiration. Okay, and energy production. Okay, so the glucagon, what it does is it acts on hepatocytes. Now hepatocytes are liver cells, and liver cells stores glucose in the form of glycogen. Okay, so glycogen is the storage form of glucose in hepatocytes, that is in liver and in muscles. Okay, so here majorly we are talking about hepatocytes, that is glucagon acts on hepatocytes, and glucagon will be increasing the blood glucose level. Okay, so how will it be increasing the blood glucose level? अब अगर hepatocytes के अंदर ग्लाइकोजन स्टोर्ड है, ओके, और हमें ब्लड के अंदर ग्लूकोज की कंसेंट्रेशन इंक्रीज करनी है, तो हमें क्या करना होगा? we'll have to break that glycogen down into glucose. Okay, so this is one process. Okay, the another process is by increasing the absorption of glucose from the intestine. Okay, the third process is by decreasing the uptake of glucose by the cells from the blood. Okay, so these are the three processes. Now let's see here. Okay, so glucagon acts on hepatocytes and it stimulates glycogenolysis. What is meant by glycogenolysis? Glycogenolysis means breakdown of glycogen into glucose. Okay, so if glucose will be broken down, if glycogen will be broken down into glucose, so this glucose will be released in the blood, and so the concentration of glucose in the blood will be increased, and this process is known as hyperglycemia. Okay, so what does glucagon do? It increases the level of glycogen in the blood, and therefore it causes hyperglycemia. Okay, and along with the stimulation of glycogenolysis, it stimulates gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis means formation of glucose from other substrates like proteins, like fats, like other carbohydrates. Okay, so what it is doing is that it is facilitating the production of glucose from new sources. That new sources can be proteins, they can be fats, they can be other carbohydrates. Okay, and this will also cause hyperglycemia. So what glucagon has to do is it has to cause hyperglycemia. So these are the processes by which it causes hyperglycemia. Okay, these are the various paths. Okay, and along with this, what it does is it reduces cellular glucose uptake. I told you कि अगर cells कम ग्लूकोज लेंगे ब्लड से, तो ब्लड के अंदर ग्लूकोज की कंसंट्रेशन इंक्रीज रहेगी, सो इट रिड्यूसेस द सेल्युलर ग्लूकोज अपटेक एंड यूटिलाइजेशन. ओके, and so it is a hyperglycemic hormone because it is increasing the glucose concentration. Okay, so this was all about glucagon. Now we'll talk about insulin. So insulin will act opposite to the glucagon because they have to maintain a equilibrium. So अगर जो ग्लूकागॉन है वो हाइपरग्लाइसीमिक हार्मोन है, तो इंसुलिन को हाइपोग्लाइसीमिक हार्मोन होना पड़ेगा. मतलब इट विल हैव टू डिक्रीज द कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ ग्लूकोज इन द ब्लड. सो इट विल एक्ट ऑपोजिट टू the way in which glucagon was acting. So again, insulin is a peptide hormone just like glucagon, and it acts on hepatocytes and adipocytes. Adipocytes are fat containing cells, so it will act on hepatocytes and adipocytes. So what it does is it enhances cellular glucose uptake. अब वहाँ पे glucagon क्या कर रहा था? It was decreasing glucose uptake. ठीक है, तो क्या हो रहा था? ब्लड के अंदर ग्लूकोज इंक्रीज हो रहा था. अब इंसुलिन आया, इंसुलिन ने एक्ट करा ब्लड सेल्स के ऊपर. तो अब इंसुलिन का क्या काम क्या है? इट इज अ हाइपोग्लाइसेमिक हार्मोन, सो इट विल डिक्रीज द ग्लूकोज कंसंट्रेशन इन द ब्लड. सो हाउ विल इट डू दैट? इट विल enhance cellular glucose uptake. So it will enhance the uptake of glucose by the cells. So cells ज़्यादा ग्लूकोज लेने लगेंगे ब्लड से, and they'll utilize more glucose, and because of that the concentration of glucose in the blood will decrease. Okay, so it causes hypoglycemia, that is decreased glucose concentration in blood. Okay, also it does glycogenesis in target cells. So what is meant by glycogenesis is glyco means glycogen and genesis means formation. So ये क्या करेगा? ये ग्लाइकोजन का फॉर्मेशन करवा रहा है, ग्लूकोज से ग्लाइकोजन का कन्वर्जन करा रहा है. ठीक है, तो अगर ग्लूकोज से ग्लाइकोजन का कन्वर्जन होगा तो ग्लूकोज डिक्रीज हो जाएगा ब्लड के अंदर अपने आप, है ना. सो इट इज फैसिलिटेटिंग ग्लाइकोजेनेसिस इन द टारगेट सेल्स. ओके, सो this was all about the functions of insulin. Okay, now if you know a very common condition which is diabetes mellitus. Okay, so what happens in diabetes mellitus is that the insulin, that less amount of insulin is produced by the pancreas, or the insulin is not able to act properly on the cells. Okay, तो अगर या तो कम इंसुलिन प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है या फिर इंसुलिन प्रॉपर्ली एक्ट नहीं कर पा रहा सेल्स पे, तो इंसुलिन का क्या काम होता था? इट यूज टू डिक्रीज द ग्लूकोज कंसंट्रेशन इन द ब्लड. तो अब ये चीज़ नहीं हो पाएगी, तो ऑफकोर्स क्या होगा? ग्लूकोज की कंसंट्रेशन अपने आप शूट अप करेगी ब्लड के अंदर, and this will be known as hyperglycemia. Okay, so if this hyperglycemia continues for a long time, if prolonged hyperglycemia is seen, this condition is known as diabetes mellitus. Okay, so and in diabetes mellitus a characteristic feature is the formation of ketone bodies. Now what are ketone bodies? Normally क्या हो रहा था? Cells were using glucose as a source of energy. Okay, अब हो क्या रहा है? इंसुलिन कम है, तो अगर इंसुलिन कम है, so there is no हार्मोन फॉर फैसिलिटेशन ऑफ अपटेक ऑफ ग्लूकोज बाय द सेल्स. तो सेल्स ग्लूकोज नहीं ले पाएंगे सेल्स के अंदर, ऑल दो बहुत सारा ग्लूकोज प्रेजेंट है ब्लड के अंदर, बट सेल्स आर नॉट एबल टू टेक दैट ग्लूकोज अप, क्योंकि वो सिर्फ इंसुलिन की प्रेजेंस में हो पा रहा था, तो अब वो नहीं हो पाएगा. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट सेल्स के पास में कोई सबस्ट्रेट नहीं होगा फॉर रेस्पिरेशन. So what happens is that cells start using fats as a source of energy. Okay, so उसकी वजह से क्या होता है? कीटोन बॉडीज का फॉर्मेशन होता है, and these ketone bodies are very harmful because they can penetrate the blood brain barrier, and they can cause diabetic coma. Okay, so ketone bodies are found in diabetes mellitus. And you know what is the management of diabetes? What is the management of diabetes? We know that because insulin की deficiency है, so we have to give insulin therapy, we have to give insulin injections. Okay, so this was all about insulin, and here we have covered the whole pancreas. Okay, the endocrine part of pancreas. Now we move on to testis. Okay, so testis, the I is used when we are referring to singular, and es is a plural term. Okay, so what is the location? So it is located in the scrotal sac and not in the abdomen. When a baby is born, it is like in the fetus it is formed in the abdomen, पर जैसे जैसे there is development, the testes shift to the scrotal sac. And why is it important? क्योंकि scrotal sac का जो temperature है, it is 2 degree lower than that of the abdomen, and this lower temperature is required for the formation of spermatogenesis, for spermatogenesis, that is formation of sperm. Okay, so because of that, testes are located in the scrotal sac, that is outside abdomen. Okay, and it is a primary sex organ, and along with that it is also endocrine gland. So primary sex organ means it be producing the sex cells, which are the sperms, and along with that it is also endocrine gland because it will be producing hormones. Okay, so now when we look at the histology of testes, that is what are the cells present inside it, basically two types of cells can be found. The first arrangement is seminiferous tubules. So a lot of tubule like structures can be found which are known as seminiferous tubules, and between these tubules there is a basic tissue which is known as stromal tissue or interstitial tissue. Okay, so between these tubules there is a tissue present which is known as stromal tissue or interstitial tissue. Okay, now inside this interstitial tissue there are a special types of cells present which are known as Leydig cells. और क्योंकि ये interstitial tissue के अंदर present है तो हम इनको बोलेंगे interstitial cells. Okay, so they are present in the interstitial tissue, and this interstitial tissue, अभी interstitial tissue present तो tubules के बीच में ही है ना, तो हम इसको और क्या बोल सकते हैं? We can say that this interstitial tissue is also known as intertubular tissue. Okay, so these Leydig cells are present in the intertubular spaces. Okay, and what is the function of these Leydig cells? They help in the formation of androgens. Okay, so androgens are a group of male hormones. Okay, और इसके अंदर ही we have a very important hormone which is known as testosterone. Okay, so Leydig cells help in the formation of testosterone. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the function of androgens which are produced by the Leydig cells or interstitial cells. Okay, so the first important function is it helps in the development, maturation, and functions of the male accessory sex organs. Okay, so primary sex organ was testes, and there are male's accessory sex organs whose functions are controlled by these androgens. So what are these accessory organs? Include epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, and urethra. Okay, so the functions of these are regulated by androgens. Okay, another function is it stimulates muscular growth. So it stimulates muscular growth in males, the growth of facial and axillary hair, aggressiveness, and low pitch of the voice. Okay, a important point to be kept in mind is that it is not that androgens will only be present in male or estrogens will only be present in females. Both are produced in both males and females, but it is a relative concentration. Males के अंदर androgen की जो quantity है that is very high as compared to estrogen, and in females it is vice versa. Okay, so androgens stimulate muscular growth of facial and axillary hair, aggressiveness, and low pitch of the voice. Okay, and along with this, androgens have a stimulatory role in spermatogenesis. So spermatogenesis में which happens in the seminiferous tubules of the testes, इसके अंदर भी दो androgens है, they have a stimulatory role. Okay, so along with this, they influence the libido. Libido is okay, so they influence the libido, and as I told you that androgens stimulate muscular growth, so it has an anabolic effect on protein and carbohydrate metabolism because it is helping in muscular growth. So of course anabolic effect होगा proteins के ऊपर and carbohydrate के ऊपर भी. Okay, so this was about the androgens and the testes that had to be covered in this endocrine part. The rest of it will be covered in the human reproductive system. Okay, and now we move on to the ovary. Okay, so ovary जैसे हमने टेस्टिस को डिवाइड करा था सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स में एंड स्ट्रोमल टिश्यू के अंदर, वैसे ही वी आर डिवाइडिंग ओवरी इनटू ओवेरियन फॉलिकल्स. सो लॉट ऑफ फॉलिकल्स विल बी प्रेजेंट, ओवेरियन फॉलिकल्स एंड स्ट्रोमल टिश्यू. ओके, सो नाउ द लोकेशन ऑफ ओवरी. Unlike testes which were present in the scrotal sac, ovary is present in the abdomen. Okay, and just like testes were the primary male sex organ, here ovary is the primary female sex organ. Okay, so now what is the function of ovary? Each month a ova is produced from ovary. Okay, so we have a pair of ovaries. Okay, तो दोनों में से कोई भी एक ovary will produce one ova per month. Okay, so one ovum is produced during each menstrual cycle. Okay, now along with this, the I told you that ovary is made up of ovarian follicles and stromal tissue. Okay, so जो ovarian follicles होगा, they will mature into a Graafian follicle. Okay, तो जो Graafian follicle है, Graafian follicle will release a hormone which is known as estrogen. Okay, so the growing ovarian follicle will release estrogen, and this estrogen will affect the formation of ये इससे रिलीज हो रहा है एस्ट्रोजन, और एस्ट्रोजन इसी के ग्रोथ को अफेक्ट करेगा. ओके, सो estrogen will be produced by the growing ovarian follicle, and along with this we have another hormone which is known as progesterone. Okay, so जैसे जैसे जो हमारे फॉलिकल्स है, they'll mature, they'll form Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle के बाद में the ovum will be released, and if it is not fertilized, it leads to the formation of corpus luteum. Okay, so degenerated Graafian follicle will be known as corpus luteum, और ये corpus luteum है, it produces a hormone which is known as progesterone. Okay, so the corpus luteum is a ruptured follicle, degenerated Graafian follicle, and it produces progesterone. Okay, now जैसे हमने देखा था the functions of androgens, we'll now look at the function of estrogen. Okay, so now estrogen stimulates growth and activity of female secondary sex organs. जैसे कि वहाँ पे vas deferens epididymis, the growth and their functioning was influenced by androgens. Here also the functions of the and activities of the female secondary sex organs are influenced by estrogens. Okay, so it, along with this, it also influences the development of the growing ovarian follicles. As I told you, the appearance of female secondary sex characters जैसे कि high pitch of the voice and mammary gland development. So all these functions are performed by estrogen. Okay, along with this, जैसे कि वहाँ पे androgens were affecting male libido, which was male sexual behavior, here estrogens regulate the female sexual behavior. Okay, and so this was about estrogen. Now we are going to talk about progesterone. Okay, so progesterone hormone, which is produced by corpus luteum, and it is also produced by the placenta. Okay, so it supports pregnancy, it helps in the maintenance of the pregnancy, because it is produced by the placenta, and it is very necessary for pregnancy. If somehow there is a decrease in the progesterone level, or there is abnormal progesterone production, this can increase the chances of abortion. So it is a very important hormone which supports pregnancy. Okay, along with this, it stimulates the formation of alveoli of mammary glands and milk secretion from the glands. Okay, so this was about the function of progesterone. So we have covered ovary, we have covered testes, and we have covered pancreas. So this was all about the video. I hope that you understood the topic well, and thank you.